Hey Cisco, wanted to get this video on out to you. So here's the lesson. I got the video here for you. Remember some of the things that we're trying to work on with the driver, right? Or at least our movement pattern. We're trying to get rid of that reverse pivot a little bit, trying to turn our chest behind the ball. One of the feelings that we had, or one of the things that we talked about, was feeling like our left shoulder kind of goes over our right foot, excuse me, right? Getting that chest to turn back behind the ball as we kind of go. The other thing that we kind of talked about quite a bit was making sure that we don't have so much forward shaft lean when we start coming into impact with the driver. When we come into impact with the driver, we want to have basically 1 to maybe 0 degrees of shaft lean, right? So we want to make sure that that shaft is pretty well vertical as we make this move, okay? So keep practicing that, right? The other, as we said, making sure that we get that hip to turn back behind us and not laterally to the side is a big part of it, right? But the big thing for us for this session is to make sure that we're getting that shaft in a more vertical position and not getting that forward shaft lean. So what we did was we put like a little object there, and what you notice is that when you do that, you kind of feel like the hands are releasing a little bit earlier than it would be with an iron, right? And you can feel that your momentum or your swing is starting to swing up and not down, okay? So hopefully that helps. I'm going to get this video on out to you. So if you found this video to be useful or helpful, please think about liking or subscribing to the channel. It does help. And I will see you on the next lesson, buddy. All right, have a good one. Talk to you soon, partner. Bye. Yeah. Player. Search.
Let's go.
Player. Here we go. Do do do. Don't care. Do 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 do. Got the driver, big stick. Let's go get it. You got any of the new QI10s or whatever it is? Well, you got the ping.
The ping.
Another.
I have a QI10 9-wood.
Do you? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have to get used to it. Because I was playing with the old TaylorMade Sim Max 2.
Yeah.
I really like that one. Just like, but I got the new one, so I have to get used to it.
Well, yeah. I'm in the market right now looking for a Sim Max 2 driver.
No, I like my Sim Max 2 9-wood. It was just really like, I don't know, it's just really like, it was really trusty, you know? And I could get it to go straight most of the time.
Gotta love that, man.
Some yardage. And it was easy to hit.
Gotta love that, man. Those are fun clubs to have in the bag, right?
Mm-hmm. See, something like that. And I'd either like hook it left like that.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things, either I'd be able to hit it once in a while, I'd hook it left like that, and that's usually my miss, just like that.
Okay. Let me kind of I want to see one more here. Okay, got it. Yeah, I just want to see what the angle of attack was on that. Here we go. All right. So whenever you're ready, go ahead. All right, let's take a look at this guy. Let's see, where we got old Johnny Rahm at? Do, Did I go past him?
You're gonna John Wrong.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him at Live.
Oh, did you see him at Live?
No, I'm going to the Miami one in like a couple weeks.
Okay.
Got tickets for that.
Nice.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited to go to it. See what Live is all about.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know who else I'm really excited to see? Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right, so I got you compared up next to Johnny Rahm here a little bit. Setup's a little bit different, right? Not so worried about that right now, okay?
So would you say my setup is okay though?
Yeah, your setup's okay. I would like to probably see maybe just a little bit more of the spine tilting back just a little bit. Like this, just a little bit,
Like
just a
this
little
more?
bit, yeah. Just a smidge, but we'll kind of see, because I'd like to see a little bit more of, what I'd really like to see is a little bit more of this reverse K that you see he has. You see that?
Like by bending the leg?
Yeah, just a little bit. That way we get our angle up a little bit. So, but let's take a look at the overall motion here, right? So the one thing I do see is that you've got everything starting at once. So you got your upper body and your lower body going together, and you'll see that your hip's kicking out here on you. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so you see how if we take a look at these dots here, right? You can see how they're moving together, right? If you take a look at this dot and this dot right here, okay? See how they're moving together? Mm-hmm. Okay. And now what's happening here, right? So now you've kind of made this big squat sit kind of looking thing, right? You see that?
Yeah.
See how that knee is outside of our foot now, right? So it's going to be really tough for us to get into good position here. So as you come on in here, now that you have both of your legs kind of bowed like that, you're going to probably stand up. All right? So you got that lead knee kind of going a little bit and coming through. So the big thing that we see here, at least I see, right, is that you've got your upper body and lower body going. If you look at John Rahm, you can see his upper body starts, and then you can see that it starts to pull his lower body. You see that?
So should I focus more on like starting at the motion with my upper body then, and letting my lower body follow?
Yeah, so let's kind of do this. Let's not worry about the club right now. Okay, let's just kind of get a feel for this, right? Because everything for you is just kind of like this, right? And we want to kind of have the feeling. Go ahead and set up for me. Okay, go ahead, and then we're going to kind of bend at the waist just a little bit. Don't worry about the posture thing right now. Okay, there we go, good. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to feel like your legs are in concrete, and I want you to turn your upper body, and then once that upper body starts to turn, you'll start to feel your hip goes with it. Okay?
Like that?
Mm-hmm. All right, so feel like you're kind of winding your upper body against your lower body. Okay? So watch me as I kind of go. All right, so if I start, right? See how the pelvis is still pretty much remaining still until I get to here. Then the shoulders are pulling those hips around. Does that make sense? Right? And then what we'll start to get, right, is hopefully we'll get rid of this knee buckling over, right, because everything's moving at once. Now we should have the upper body turning against the lower body, and it should feel like you're turning into the inner part of your right leg. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I can guarantee you with this motion right here, you're not feeling like you're turning inside your right leg. Am I correct on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the first thing we want to do, and we're going to have to isolate that movement pattern to begin with, right? We've got to get used to having an upper body winding up the lower body, and it's going to feel like there's less motion for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so if I put a club in your hand, let's kind of go with this. Okay, we're going to go with a club in your hand. Okay, now it's going to take time, right? But what we want to kind of feel is we want to feel like the upper body starts to turn first and then the lower body starts to pull around. But we don't want to get to the point where I keep my hips frozen and I'm trying to force that. Does that make sense too? Mm-hmm. Okay. It's got to be a natural occurrence of the process.
So like this, Tim?
Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, you feel yourself turning inside your right leg now, don't you?
Yeah.
Good. Good. Okay. That's a much better motion of what we're looking for right there. Okay. So we're going to isolate that feeling at least for the first, 10, 15 minutes here, okay? And it should feel like you're getting more coil and turn, right? You feel like you're all tightened up. Good. Good. All right. Upper body turning against the lower body. Good. All right. Let that upper body start and pull those hips around. Good. All right, feel yourself turning inside that right leg. Okay. All right. 2 more swings and then we'll kind of hit a few balls here and keep trying to isolate that movement pattern, okay? Any questions right now, my man?
No.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Okay. So we're not worried about killing it. Okay. We just want to try to isolate that movement pattern right now. Okay. So just try to focus on that upper body, winding up that lower body a little bit. Okay. Go again here. Let's take a look and see where your ball position is. Okay, good setup. Good. Let's take a look at that guy real quick. All right, so our low point's after, which tells me we're probably coming in a little bit over the top. No, we had a good club path right there. Angle of attack is down. So let's see what's going on here a little bit, okay?
I feel like, Tim, when I do this, I have to really think about swinging out
Okay.
left base, because if not, my body naturally wants to come inside.
Okay. Swing to the third baseman.
Yes. I have to like think about that, or if not, when I swing, naturally it just wants to come inside, and I end up like hitting myself,
Mm-hmm.
and it ends up at like
Gotcha.
going to left.
So here's the reason why it wants your body wants you to go left. So watch as we go. So as you kind of watch your hip, you see how it kicks out, right? The big problem for you, right, as we kind of look, as I look right here, right, the big problem is that your chest is on this side, okay, which is going to be really tough to swing out this way. Does that make sense? Where we see John Rahm's spine is back over here. Does that make sense? Okay. So we've got what we would call a reverse pivot. Okay. So as that hip goes out, right, your hips go away from the target, your chest goes towards the target. We want the opposite. We want our hips to get closer to the target and our chest to get further away. Does that make sense, big guy? Mm-hmm. So let's kind of do this real quick. Let's not worry about the club. Okay. I'll take that real quick. All right, go ahead and put your arms across your chest for me. Good. Okay. Now what we're going to do here, right, I'm going to turn, right, we're going to turn you. There you go, okay? You feel where we're at there? Okay. That's more of where we need to kind of be. You feel how your rear end's closer to the target over here? Yeah. Okay. So as one of my old instructors used to tell me, right, and this might be a good idea for you, is that the top vertebrae and my lower vertebrae, right, the lower vertebrae will be closer to the hole than my top vertebrae. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Right now, you're in the opposite direction. You're like this. Okay, so you can see the video here. Yep. So we've got to get our chest back behind the ball.
Like that?
We're here. We're going to do this real quick. So let's put our club across our chest. Okay. Actually, we'll put the butt end over here. Good. All right. So I'm going to have you go. Right. And I want you to get into position. And I want you to point it somewhere outside of this ball. Good. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's the movement pattern we got to work on right there, okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you notice what your hip's kind of doing there? It's turning more back behind you, not going off to the side a little bit. All right, hold on. 1 sec. Hold on. Set up again. Okay. A little chest over the ball just a little bit. There we go. Good. There we go. Okay. Yeah, we're turned in there. Good. Okay. Now we've got our back to the target and we're turning our hip back behind that. Yep. Right. Okay. Okay. So let's try this a different way now. Now that you've kind of done it that way, right? That's one way to kind of practice, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to kind of get on up to this thing, this wall right here. Okay. You're going to put your arms like this, and what you're going to do is you're going to feel like you're taking a box and putting it over here. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Okay, feel what your chest and hips are doing, right? You feel how that hip's turning back behind you there? Yep. Okay. Good. Right? Yeah. See how your hip wants to turn away from the wall?
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to isolate right there. Right, and get your chest on back behind the ball. Good. Right. Now let me ask you this. When you kind of do that, do you notice how the hips kind of stay still, right? But as I do that, they move automatically as I move my chest, right?
Yeah.
It's not that it's an active move away, right? But if I kind of do this, my body instinctively does that, right? So once you kind of get the idea, right, of loading back behind there and allowing your hips to turn behind you, then we can get our chest behind the ball to allow all that good stuff to happen, right? But once I kind of kick that hip out and I get like this, then my swing pattern is going to be this, okay? So now I'm going to have you move away from the wall. Let's come on over here, right? And now I want you just to imagine there's a wall right there. Try to do that feeling.
The arms cross the chest or just...
No, you take your arms and put them like that. There you go. Good. Good. All right. Good. All right. Good movement pattern right there. All right. So the big thing is that we got to kind of remember, Cisco, is that the chest turns behind the ball, right? Not the hips getting kicked out behind the ball. Does that make sense, big guy? Mm-hmm. All right. Let's give you a club here. I'm not worried about hitting the ball right now. Just try to feel what we're kind of talking about here a little bit, okay?
Like that?
Better. Okay. Hold on. Come on down. Bring it on down. There you go. Good. Right. So as we kind of go, right, it's going to feel like we kind of get the upper body starting. Right. Good, good, good. Pulling the lower body around. Good. Okay. Good. Okay. And then just driving that back down through and then rotating our hands, maintaining our structure. There you go. Good. Okay. Better. Okay. Feel yourself turning behind that ball. Good. Yeah. There you go. Good. Okay. Yes, much better. Much better, big guy. All right. It's not going to come overnight for us, right? But the more that we can kind of practice that movement pattern, it's going to start shining through more and more. All right. See how we're doing here. All right. Knees starting to buckle a little bit. I'm starting to see a little bit of that old move coming in. All right. There you go. Feel like you're turning around that right leg, right? On the inner part of that right leg. Good. Okay. All right. Take a break for just a sec, okay? It's a lot of swings right there. Any questions right now, my man?
No questions for now.
All right.
Did I not bring the water?
He's in the car. You usually bring a water.
Yeah.
Here we go. That's a cool looking head cover. Okay. Good. All right, so you see what we're kind of doing here, big guy? What we're trying to get you to do? Okay. Once we can start getting your chest back behind the ball a little bit, good things are going to start happening for you. And that's why your angle of attack is so down, is because your chest is ahead of the ball, right? There's only one place for your hands to go. It's kind of straight down at it, right? But once we get you to start turning behind that ball, good things are going to start happening for us. Okay. You ready to try to hit a few?
Yeah.
Okay. We don't want to kill the ball, okay? Let's just try to figure out this movement pattern. It's pretty significant, right? Getting ourselves to turn back behind that ball. Get rid of that hip slide a little bit, right? And feel like we're turning on the inner part of our right leg, okay? Upper body turning against the lower body to start off with.
So like.
So here we go. Set up for me. Now as you take it on back. Yeah, you're getting too far inside there. Okay. So here we go. All right. So that's going to go right along here. There you go. Okay. We don't want to start off by doing this, right? Because once you start to pull this in, this chest is going to go this way to compensate for it. Does that make sense? Okay. So if I had a, let me do this real quick. Where's the other alignment rod here? Hold on. You're good. Hold on. Okay. 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 There you go. Now go again. Back on the ground. Okay. Okay. Feel how your hands are moving there? Okay. Once again. Good. Okay. Good.
And that's like here's when I pick it up.
So you're gonna get like right about here, right about when the hands get past the foot. It's probably gonna be more. If I looked in the picture, it's probably gonna be more here, right? But the feeling is here. Okay. The reality is more here. Does that make sense?
So like.
Good. No. No, you're good. You want to stay right on this plane right here. Good. Good. All right. So if you got right on up here, yep. And then feel how your hands go there. Okay. All right. So there's a movement pattern that goes on right here, right? And it takes a little time for that hinge to happen, right? Okay. But here we go. Once again. Good. Feel how your hands are staying in the same spot right there. Okay. They're not going.
I can see.
In.
Also feel my hip turning too.
Good. All right. But your upper body's turning your lower body now, right?
Yeah.
Good. Good. All right. And now you're staying on that plane. Okay. Good. The other thing I'm going to do is we're going to move the ball back a little bit in your setup, just a bit. Okay. So go ahead and set up real quick for me. Go ahead and set up. Do grab this real quick. Good. This one more. Sure. Yeah, you've actually got it back behind that. Okay. Okay. All right. I was wondering if you might have it just a little bit too far ahead, but it looks like you got it in a good position.
I have to like really think about it. I keep coming inside.
You keep coming on in.
Like when I swing on the downswing, like to inside instead of like outside.
Okay, so we got to get you.
Like I can just feel it.
You can just feel yourself coming over the
I
top.
can also feel like myself, like my body coming in, like getting really like close.
Okay. I mean, your path is out to the right. Okay, so you're swinging out in this direction as far as what we can see. Okay. Your face, though, right? Your face is really closed. Okay, so your face flipping at the bottom. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're experiencing, right, is I think that your path is so far out to the right that what you're feeling is you're flipping the face and it feels like it's coming to the inside. Does that make sense? Because your path is out to the right. Okay.
So should I maybe have the face more open then? Like to start out with?
Well, this is what I would do for practice. Here we go. Let's kind of talk about this, and let me kind of do this real quick. Let me show you. All right. So what we're talking about our movement patterns here, but when we start talking about like what's going on here with the face a little bit, right? Your path is out to the right, but what happens is you're so far out to the right, you're doing this. You're basically going. Does that make sense? You're swinging it back to bring it back on the line. Okay.
So should I just keep it out to the right?
A little bit, yes. A little bit. But what we want to kind of do here, right? I'll get that right there. As we kind of practice here a little bit, I just want to feel like I'm keeping the face kind of square to the ball as I kind of do this, right? So I kind of get like this, back behind it, and it's just kind of, right? And I just start to figure out where that is on the face a little bit, and I start to work on my low point, okay? Now my issue was my path was over the top, right? So I'd come on back over here, do that again. I'm not trying to kill the ball, okay? What I'm trying to figure out is where do I need to keep that face at to start off with, and then I start to build my speed. Does that make sense? So if I got here again, right, I need that path out to the right, okay? And you can see for me, right, I feel like I left the face open there, right? But I'm here. I don't want to be over here with that. Does that make sense a little bit?
So I'm like kind of closing it too much because I feel like I'm going too far out to the right?
Correct. Correct. So that's why I want you to just kind of feel like you're taking little half swings and feel like you're kind of leaving that face square through impact a little bit and allowing your body rotation to kind of close that just a little bit, okay? So here, hold on. So here. Now the other thing you got to realize, right, as we come through here, right, our shaft, right? So go ahead and do that one more time, what you just did. All right, so here's the thing that I see right here, okay? Here's the problem that we have, okay? See how much shaft lean you have?
Yeah.
Okay? That's not what we should have here in the driver, okay? The driver shaft lean, when we get to impact, should be basically up and down. You may have 1 or 2 degrees forward, but pretty well straight up. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay? For you, you're getting your body ahead, and then you get this shaft lean, and we're out to the right, and you can see when I do that, what happens to the club? It's kind of going down a little bit, isn't it? And where's the ball hitting?
Down.
On top of this club, right? Okay, so we gotta, let me grab something real quick here. Okay, so what we do is we find something like this, okay? So put that right here and put this right here, okay? So let me kind of demonstrate what we want to do here, right? So if I got right here, right, what I want to kind of figure out here is when I get into impact, how can I get that straight? You see what I'm doing there?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I kind of want right there a little bit as I kind of come through here. Right now what you're doing is if I got the driver in here.
So am I doing what you use, like an iron, for example?
What's that?
Am I doing like what you use an iron?
Yes, absolutely. It would be a great, you're hitting a great iron, I'm sure, right? Because when we come on into impact with the irons, we're coming in probably about, 8 to 12 degrees of shaft lean, okay? When we come in with the driver, we want that basically maybe 1 degree, okay, just a little bit, but we don't want 5, 7, or 8 degrees down, right, of shaft lean. That's not how this club works, right? So I want to get used to how do I, and this is a great way for you to practice, when you get here, right, how do I get that square again, right? And you'll notice when I do this, right, you'll notice that I feel like my hands are kind of releasing just a little bit early. I'll admit that, right? But the other thing is I can really feel that I'm going to start going up, right? If I'm this, I still feel like I'm going down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions there, big guy?
No, just gotta get that feel.
right? So, you know, there's a few things we got to work on, especially with our movement patterns, right? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see what you say with releasing the club earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Is it easier to like
Mm-hmm.
to keep the driver straight?
Right, but with all that shaft lean and all that length on that driver, right, you're not going to have a pattern out to the right because you're so far down. Your hands are ahead of the club, and where we're going to go is left. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Here we go again. All right, get yourself set up to it. Good. Okay. No, don't try to hit it. Let's not try to hit it, right? We just want to, yeah, we want to get that feel right there. What do we need to do right there? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? Uh-huh. Feel how that club's moving up? Mm-hmm. Good. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready to hit a few?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to hit like a couple like half swings like that.
Yes, that's what I want. I want you to get a feeling for how that shaft is going to be more up and down vertical when we get into impact instead of...
I feel like I'm holding also by doing that. I'm kind of like, I don't say leaning back, but keeping more of my weight on my backside.
And what did we talk about when you came in here, right? You talked about how you feel like you've got too much weight on your front side as you're coming through, right?
Yeah.
And that's because we're doing a reverse pivot, right? Doing that, okay? And then what we do is we get here, shaft lean, right? And then we're going left, right? So once I feel like I'm standing up or coming back, then I get a chance to move that club past me, okay? All right, big guy, enough chitter chatter. Time to hit some balls. Just little half shots, okay? Mm-hmm. There you go, good. All right. It almost feels like you're kind of throwing the club a little bit. A little bit. Mm-hmm. There you go. Just that speed right there. That's all. That's fine. Okay, set up for me, big guy. Okay. All right, so I'm going to move the ball on out of here just for a sec. Okay. Get a feel right here. All right, as we come through. Boom. Like that. Okay. Right there. Okay. Don't try to get here and then try to turn it down, okay? Mm-hmm. Right? Just feel like you're kind of holding that face open for you, okay?
Okay.
All right. There we go. All right. Feel like you're just holding that face open, like you're... It's okay. you
Just
go.
like that.
There you go. All right. Good. Good. To start. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Give me 1 second. We're going to take a look down the line here. Okay. All right, here we go. Give me just a sec. Okay. Path is good. Okay. Good, good. All right, let me ask you one little thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you're a little bunched up to the ball?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay. When I look at this, right, and here, come here, take a look, right? So it just looks like you're kind of got your hands a little close to your body with the driver, right? I'd like to see a little bit more of a chest over the ball a little bit, hands maybe a little bit further away, because as we come in here, you see how you stand up just a little bit, and then
To stand further away?
so watch as you kind of go right here, and then watch how you're standing up just a little bit. You see how your head's moving up and back a little bit? Okay. And then what happens is you're swinging on the outside of that ball. You feel that? All right. And then you're hitting it on the heel, which is going there. So that's why I was asking, do you feel like you're a little bunched up?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want you to kind of get a little bit more distance away from the ball, just a little bit. Feel like your arms are hanging just a little bit further away from your body. And let's see how that kind of reacts.
So, like, more like this?
Yes, yes, right? You feel like you're a little bit away from it, like you're not so bunched up? Okay, good, good. I just want to make sure of that. Okay. There you go, good. Give yourself some space there. Here we go. All right, set up for me, big guy. Did they have a sale on motorcycles? Because I've been hearing these motorcycles all day. Good Lord. All right, so as we go, here, good. Loosen up those wrists just a little bit. There you go. All right. Boom. All right, feel how that shaft is kind of straight up and down and through. Okay, that's all we got to do. Right there, okay? Once again, here, right, boom. Okay, one more time. Here, right, and then boom. Okay? There you go. Give me a couple practice swings, partner. There you go. Good. All right. Let's get this guy out of your way. All right, just a small little swing. Try to keep that face kind of square to the sky as we go. Good. Perfect.
I mean, that felt better.
Okay, good.
But you didn't hit out the heel there.
Okay, good. You feel like you're a little bit further away?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me take a look at that one real quick. Let's take a look.
I might have hit it more on the toe there, but
Okay.
feels like I hit it like at least not on the heel.
All right. So once again, going to have to work on that hip slide a little bit, partner. Okay. See how that hip's sliding on out on us a little bit? All right. And then you kind of stand up just a little bit. Wish I could see what the shaft lean was on there. Okay. Let's go again. Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Now we're getting it. Okay. Here we go. Let's go again. I think we're starting to hum now.
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay, starting to
I
find.
see that, like, I still haven't found like the right swing thought though. Just have a couple things in my head.
Okay. What are some of the swing thoughts we have
Well,
in
I
our head?
have to think of like not doing the reverse pivot. That's one of my main ones. Even on my iron swing, I have to think of bringing my chest
Okay.
and letting the rest fall out. And then I also have to remember to stand out wide before the setup and make sure I keep the club out
Yeah.
to swing up.
Yeah. So we
Come down on it.
yeah, we definitely need to have that feeling like we're swinging out towards the second baseman a little bit. We don't want to start feeling like we got to throw the club to the inside a little bit, right? Think about this for me. Just give me a practice swing here, but all I want you to think about is your left shoulder going down, okay, towards your right foot. Okay? So don't worry about the ball. Back up, right? I want you to feel like your left shoulder goes over your right foot. Yep. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? That should keep your chest on this side. Okay, good.
Yeah. I
Okay.
can try to keep that one. Think of that one.
Okay. Just trying to simplify it so you've got some kind of thing to anchor so you get your chest in a better position for yourself, right? So we're going to think about left shoulder going over right foot. Good. That was the best sounding one so far. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that one there. I have to like think of that because that makes me do. Sometimes like thinking of my chest bringing, I feel like I get too stiff
Mm-hmm.
and end up getting stiff in the holding the club. I don't know. It's like. So I'm gonna think of that. I keep thinking of that one.
Okay, so you like the left shoulder over right
Yeah.
foot? Good. Here we go. Left shoulder over right foot.
Well, you know what? At least it's going someone straight.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, good. The other thing that I'm starting to see here a little bit, which is good, okay, your angle of attack is starting to go up a little bit, all right? It's still a little bit ahead, but you were at 3 or 4 degrees down at some point. Now you're at, 0.9 of a degree down, which is good. That means that we're starting to get that shaft in the position that we wanted, that we talked about, all right? Left shoulder over right foot.
No. I slid there.
Starting to get that angle of attack back down again, okay? All right, so let's try to get that feeling of getting that shaft in a more neutral position when we come to impact, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, left shoulder over right foot. Okay. Okay. Remember, we want to feel like our head's behind the ball when we come into impact, okay? All right? Feel like your head and your sternum's behind the ball when you come into impact. There you go. Okay, see how we got some height there?
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
But it doesn't show the angle of attack there.
Maybe just the lighting, but I would probably venture to guess that we're probably more at
I
the...
think, yeah, if I can just remember left shoulder over right foot, keep my head and start behind the ball, I feel like my body, like I didn't have to think of and then remembering to swing out.
Well, you're swinging out fine, so I wouldn't worry about your path,
Those two things.
right? So just think about left foot over, or left shoulder over right foot, and think about your head being behind the ball, or feel like your head's going in reverse as you're coming into impact. Okay, good. Ooh, that sounded better. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Good.
And that angle attack actually negative now.
Yeah, you're still slightly ahead, but I'm not. Two's okay. I mean,
It's okay. Oh, you're
Two-
at the low point.
yeah, that's your low point, you know. But when we start to get 5 or 6 degrees down, then it's bad. You know, like somebody like, let's see here. John Rahm's low point's there, but if I went to somebody else like Brooks Koepka or somebody like that, they're kind of down a little bit. So, you know, just depending on what you're trying to do, but that's a significant difference from where we were. Okay, good job. Okay, left shoulder over right foot, and we're keeping our head behind the ball at impact, okay? There we go. Yeah, we can play that, buddy.
Yep.
Right? We can go out with our buddies and play with that. That's good. Okay, good.
No.
Yeah, got quick, right?
Yeah, I put my head forward.
Okay, good. Right. Left shoulder over right foot. Head's behind the ball at impact, okay? Head and sternum behind the ball.
Like that.
There you go. Smash. There we go, buddy. That's a big difference from where we were. It's a big difference. Good. A little low, a little quick, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the big thing for you, more than anything, when the stuff goes really wrong for us, is when our face angle gets really shut, right? Our angle of attack is a little bit down. It's at 1.2, but if we kind of kept some loft on the face, right, kind of kept the face open a little bit, we'd still get that out there a bit, right? But when you know, your path is fine. So you're swinging out to the right. That's a perfect path. The problem is as you get into impact, your hands are getting too quick, right? And shutting that club face down, which is just de-lofting the club on you a little bit, okay? So just feel like you're kind of leaving that face open a little bit, okay? What it's going to feel like to you is like leaving the face open a little bit, okay? I'd much rather you have, you know, a 5 or 6 yard cut that goes out there than a worm burner that goes nowhere. All right, just feel like you're keeping the loft on the face.
I try to keep it a little more open.
I got you. All right, left shoulder over right foot, keeping your head behind the ball. Okay, left shoulder behind. A little off the top, right? Okay. Okay.
There we go. Oh, too sharp on that one.
Let's hit about 2 or 3 more here, big guy, and let's talk about what we need to work on, okay? Any questions right now? Anything I can answer for you?
No, just keep working on it.
There you go. Okay, good. Here we go. 2 more, my man. 2 more. And let's talk about what we need to work on. Okay. All right, give me a swing. We're going to look at this guy here, okay? Going to analyze this one. Come on in, my man.
All right.
All right, let's take a look at him. I like that, okay? Still swinging out to the right, which is good, okay? We like that, okay? Though the face is a little bit open, right? I would rather you kind of keep that face open right there a little bit and playing this little bit of a fade right now, okay? But once you start to shut that face down, it's just ground ball grody over here, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at our setup here, right? Okay, so one thing we got to kind of work on, right, is that hip slide a little bit. okay? We want to, as we talked about in the beginning of the session, we want to feel like we're turning inside of this right leg here, okay? We don't want to have that feeling like our knee is kind of going over that foot. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, some of the swing thoughts that we've been having here, right? The big thing that we have is we want to feel like our left shoulder gets over our right foot here a little bit, okay? That's something that we need to kind of work on a little bit right there, okay? Now, the other thing that we want to kind of work on and make sure of, right, as we come through, right, you see how your head kind of gets ahead of the ball here a little bit, okay? Remember, we want to imagine as we come through here, watch John Rahm, right? We want to imagine as we get into impact, you see how his head kind of goes back behind him?
Yeah.
Right? That's going to keep our sternum and everything behind us and get our launch angle up. Okay? So that's what we got to kind of focus on. So, big thing for you, right? What we want to kind of focus on, especially with our movement patterns, right? You know, getting on up over here, feeling like my chest goes on this side and my hips go this way. Okay? That's the big thing right there. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, okay? Now, as far as in-swing stuff, right, I want to have the feeling, right, that my left shoulder goes over my right foot, right, kind of that feeling. That's going to get my turn down, get my chest over here, right? But once I start to kind of do this and start standing up, then my exit pattern is going to be to the left, right? Okay, so what we want to do, left shoulder over right foot. And as we come into impact, we want to feel like our head and sternum's behind the ball as we hit it, okay? And for you right now, we want to feel like we're keeping loft on the face as we come through. Okay? Any questions, big guy?
No.
All right. Now, the other thing I would kind of work on just a little bit for yourself, right? Working on your shaft angle, right? Get a little something like this, whatever it may be. It could be a wall or something like that, okay? But make sure that as you get on in here, I would kind of practice like this. I would go, right? You'll notice as you come through here, your head wants to go behind that, right? But if you're coming in like this with 7 or 8 degrees of shaft lean, look what happens, down and through, right? Okay, so getting on over here, right? And making sure that our shaft is basically at a neutral spot when we come in there is what we want. Okay, big guy?
Sounds good, thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
All right, big guy. Whew. So I'll get you some videos of what we worked on right there. And if you have any questions...